Up to Oisvav. So what's the Nakuda that the Maimon is saying? The Nakuda the Maimon is saying here is that both in the beginning of the Avodah of Iskafia, where we're struggling and breaking the Yetzer Hara, and it's a big battle. So even there, a Yid has to know, and it has to be in such a way. This is the diuk in such a way. That's what he said. It has to be in such a way that it should come not just to his hapcha, which means transforming the animal drives, the self, but the third avodah of complete aseitoi, pure kedusha, pure oneness. So it has to be in such a way. So we're suggesting, what does it mean? It has to be in such a way. I'm struggling right now. So you're telling me that, how does it, I'm asking you, in all the words we've been saying the last few days, what does it mean practically? The reality is I'm struggling with the Yetzer Hara. That's my reality. So he tells me it has to be in such a way that it should bring not just Yisapcha, but the ultimate union. When I get there, God willing, I'll get there. I'm 2 steps behind. And they're big steps. The Yetzer Hara is in its full force. The second stage is transforming the midas the way I feel. It's also Herculean. You're changing emotional, visceral responses, becoming a more refined person. As Chassidus says, the big chidushim of Chassidus is that not only are we to change or control our negative characteristics, that's Musa, that you didn't Chassidus for. But Chassidus came along and said even the good midas have to go from good to godly. Push even the natural tendencies. I'm naturally a nice person, a giving person, hospitable. Push that beyond its limits. This is a big avodah. That's the second avodah. Tremendous avodah. Third avodah, beyond berurim. It means it's all done. And oneness with Hashem in the deepest way. They're different universes. So what does it mean? But often, the beginning has to be in such a way. So all of the words that we've been, you want to say something, anybody? Answer, I'm a Guild student. Okay, so what does it mean? Okay, tell me. I'm struggling with my Yetzer Hara. He identifies with that. We all do. You're telling me it's got to be in such a way that in the struggle, in such a Ma Pirush. So this is what we're saying the last few days. We're lost in all the words. L'chore, I'm just as my suggestion here. Welcome to give another insight. It means that a Yid has to know that this whole struggle, you're struggling with the Yetzer Hara and everything, there's one objective here. The one objective is that the Eibishter wants to be one with you and know that's what it's all about. It's about that oneness with the Eibishter. To use the analogy of a marriage. Let's translate this analogy of a marriage. Before a guy gets married, the whole world is out there, and even Api Allah, he's supposed to look and see he wants to marry. So now that he's married, or even let's say the tnoim, we don't call it a tnoim, the engagement. So what happens there? So there already starts avodah v'iskafia. Till now you were looking and you were engaging. Now you can't. There's only one address. It's a big change. It's one woman now. An exclusion of everybody else. That's why she gives him a talis, by the way. The meaning is that the Kala gives the Chassan the talis. One of the meanings is, till now you were obligated to look to find your Basher. No. Leisa suru. Like the horse has blinders. You're looking one direction. Talis over the head, not to the left, not to the right, straight ahead. It's not very iskafia. Iskafia is in the workplace, it's temptations constantly. The next stage of the marriage is, it's not just, okay, stop. Now he has to develop and cultivate that his emotions should want to be only with him. In the classic old model of getting married, and that's the way it should work, is there's no love in the beginning. How do you know this girl? In the classic models, it was set up and they worked. As kids, they made up that these people are going to get married. Of course, they don't want, they don't. But they worked. The less complicated the dating was, the better it worked. It's a fact. It's a fact. People that lived together before for years, their marriages statistically failed to a far greater degree than the rest of the world that you don't live together before. You think it would work, it doesn't, without going to all the pratim, but this is the Metzias. So, he's gone out a few times, the Chiddush Bocher doesn't, like I said 1,000 times, you get married for why not? And say, why not? And nice girl likes it. You could like somebody else also, that's true, but I didn't meet anybody else, I just met you, so that's it. It's enough. Don't need more than that. It's why not? Then, so that's after the why not, now he's skafia. So now that you had this, you had the L'chaim, Gamarno, finished, so you can't look at anybody else, entertain anybody else. He hasn't developed a relationship with her yet. It's all iskafia. It's just not here. But why here? A whole lifetime to find out. And then comes the lifetime to develop a relationship, and I want you and desire you, and I don't want anybody else. It's at the midas. This is not iskafia. This is stage 2. This is the isapcha stage. But that's not the ultimate. The ultimate is not I love you, but you, mamish, being totally one and complete, being absorbed in the other. That's the asay toiv, that's the third stage. The third stage is ultimate union. It's not even I want you and I don't want, to make this clearer. I love you and I don't love her. That's what it means. I want you, I don't want this. That's the second stage when you cultivate the midas. This is not about comparison. There's only you. The third stage is there is only you. This is beyond the discussion, beyond the potential attraction elsewhere. It's only you. This is the asay toiv. This is the shar, the 49 shari binan, menta shari binan. This is kodesh hakadosh. Beyond the bitter, beyond the struggle. But I love you and I don't like somebody else. And there's, always that tension, I got to work on it, but no, it's you and I appreciate you. Beyond I appreciate you compared to somebody else, again, there is nobody else. Like, I think if we say the bracha that we say, one of the Sheva brachas is that we bless Chas and Kala, that Hashem should rejoice like Hashem rejoiced you in Gan Eden, referring to Adam and Chava. What does this mean? There are many explanations. So one is that just like Adam and Chava had no doubt that they were meant for each other, it wasn't like you and not somebody else. There isn't anybody else. So you should have that. You should know that this is, you two have one neshama, and it's not, it could be, but shows you, but not, it's beyond the choice. It could only be you because it's only you. But pnimis, because we two halves of one neshama. That's the third level. So what does it mean? Going back therefore. So we tell, the Maimon says here that the avodah of iskafia has to be in such a way that he knows that it leads to his hap, it leads to the third level. This is what it means. You have to know the outset. I don't feel this yet, but you have to know this what's going to be. That marriage means it cannot be anybody else. It's not a struggle. It's not a choice. And know this from the beginning. Even as you engage in the original iskafia, can't look, and then trying to develop a relationship and the ups and downs and the vicissitudes, the underlying knowledge has to be that not one, it's not, listen, clear. It's not that you one day, you should know you're going to get to this where it's not a struggle anymore. It's only you. Know it is that way now. Knowing that that's the truth now, that this soulmate, this is the only one. So even in this is, as we talk, it comes clear. So even your struggle, the very beginning of iskafia and temptation, when I know that this is ridiculous because it can only be her, it lifts the struggle. If the struggle is predicated on the deep emunah that the camp in the other way, Gan Eden Mikedem, the third level, I say toiv, then the struggle is a different struggle. That is what it appears is the meaning of that even the avodah viskafi has to be in a way that it should bring not just yishapcha but asetoy. Even in the iskafi. So if you think about this very deeply, it's life-changing because it means even in the iskafi, he doesn't take the temptations all that seriously. It's not real. It can't be there. It can only be here. So it lifts the whole struggle to a whole different level. Yes, it's a harder, it's the Bahamas, the essential feelings and so on, but that's not my pneumius. My pneumius is bound up here. I can't prevent him from taking it all that seriously and getting caught up. And it's easier. The iskafi becomes easier knowing when be'etzem there's no, it's who I am. It's easy. It's the easiest part. It's who I am. You have to think every day whether you want to live today or not. Look at this morning. I live or I'm going to die. No one makes that cheshbon. Life is alive. That's being. So that are we following this? I'm trying to say that transforms the struggle. It takes the edge of it. We're not so impressed by the struggle. It's not as real as it is in experience, but be'emes is not real. It's a sheker. Knowing that, it's easier to resist it. It's a sheker to me. My soulmate is here, not there. That's not me. Then he said the other way, that was Dalit. What was the Nekuda Vayisei? Somebody? Gader ze lider gise. The last 2 days, friends, we're talking about the same thing.
Even after you thought the gaval that you had during the discussion needs to be radical in some way, even after.
Yeah, so let's unpack that. What does that mean? Correct.
Certain energy with this scopier level that.
Yep, you're saying the same thing, but I want to hear some explanation. I'm a Gil student. Well, what is that certain energy?
When you're fighting something, you have an energy rather than when it's more passive. Now you reach the place you could
coast. Yeah. So what energy are you bringing there exactly? You're saying correct. You're saying right. What is it? What's the word of the Maimir uses? Huh?
Dilug.
Yeah, dilug is like, yeah, but in terms of the emotional experience or state, he's in a state of what? Third line, he's spilus. You said spilus means what? Excited. Or in shock, gewalt. That's the best word I can find in English is gewalt. What's the gewalt? The gewalt is, let's unpack the question. If we reach the point of the third level of Asay Tov, which is absolute union, because as we said moments ago, can't be any other way, we're two halves of one soul. A yid and the Eibishter is a chelik alekah mimal mamish. Can't be any other way. To be true to yourself is one with God. So what's the spilus? What's the gewalt there? It can't be any other way. On the contrary, that if you said no gewalt, there's absolute silence and union and finish being in the deepest way. Being, there's no choice. Being is being. So what does it mean, the gewalt there? That's what I'm asking. This is what we're talking about the last couple of days. As we talk more, we're trying to understand it deeper. The gewalt is, and that's the dilug and the chipazon. Yeah, it's true, be'etzem we're one. That's the truth before, during, and after. It's eternal. But here, listen, friends, here he's bringing his conscious self all of his levels of self into that oneness. That's a gewalt. That's a gewalt. That this essential oneness that a Yid and the Eibishter are one, that you have granted me the ability that embrace and pervade every part of my being, guf and self and midas, and all of it, which is yeshes. You allowed my yeshes into this oneness. That's the gewalt. As we said yesterday, being in Kodesh HaKadosh. What was the word? What was Manis's word? What was the machshava zora, the machshava psula of the Kohen Gadol? They've arrived. They've arrived. And let's unpack that. Why shouldn't he? He's a Yid, he has a neshama is mom of the Eivish. Every neshama belongs in Kodesh HaKadosh. The answer is, yeah, that's mitzad the etzem and neshama. But you're in here not just with the etzem and neshama. You're here with every part of you that Hashem allows for. This is all the dir b'tachtonim. It's all his deep desire that this essential bond that we have embrace and unite and pervade your entire being down to the way the neshama is in the guf, and with all of your limitations and imperfections. That too, with all of this, you come into the Kodesh HaKadosh. Not just your etzem and neshama, which you're not even consciously aware of and can't be, but your conscious self. That's the gewalt. Or to rephrase that, not exactly the same thing, but to rephrase it, that you love me not just in essence, my soul is one with you, but you love me essentially in all of my limitations and imperfections, even that about me, you also want to be one with and take into Kodesh HaKadoshim. That's a tremendous hispilus. That's a gewalt. I'm there with all of me, not just the pure part of me. In the top of page Reish Samach Ches, the second line, the third line, that the dilug and the gewalt of this level is much greater than the gewalt in the first one. The first is pilus is Pashat, the constant struggle. He's tempted, no, and it's this one. It's just a gewalt, and the temptations are strong. He doesn't know this girl, and they set it up, and now it's only this one. Hey, that's the gewalt. As you said, it's in mifnei atzma. Second line, machmes hayida mehara. You're committed. That's it. You broke the plate. Can't look anywhere else. Gewalt. No, okay. This is a whole different gewalt. Third line. This is the true bligvol. And what does this mean here? That he has a connection to Chachmosai v'Retzonish HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Him with all of his imperfections. Not just mitzad etzem and neshama.
So Ula Yeshleimer, that the first gewalt is about himself, and the second gewalt is about the Eibishter.
I don't like those words. No.
Oh, he's so happy that
the gewalt
he accomplished this.
The gewalt is that he is there. It is about himself. He's in a state of hispilus, that I am here. That I'm here. That you let me in. It is about him.
And the second gewalt is not about him.
It is all about him, that I am here. That you let me in. It is all about him.
But the focus it's a different focus. The focus in the first focus
what are we saying here?
His accomplishment. And the second thing is, okay, he's excited.
It's not a different focus.
But not about himself. He's excited about something else.
Not just a different focus. It's a different universe. The first one was giving the moshel is that he's engaged to this girl, and now he has to not look anywhere else. So there the Gewalt is, there the Gewalt is that the temptation is great and he's got to struggle, toil mightily not to go there. And he doesn't have any emotional reason not to go there because he hasn't developed that yet in his relationship, doesn't know this girl. It's all a pale mamish thing. That's the Gewalt there. That's the emphasis here.
So the Gewalt is the degree of investment he needs to put into the avodah. It's a lot of work.
You're talking which stage?
Discussion.
Yeah. He's not at the level yet where he's excited about this girl. He doesn't know her. He just got engaged. He went out a few times. Why not? And finish it. That's the way it should be. So what's the iskafia there? The iskafia there is, I just made a commitment. That's it. There's no emotional development, so it requires tremendous Kabbalah's oil to remain focused. Later on, they get married and he starts to develop a relationship, then doesn't have that same Gewalt because he doesn't want to be involved in anybody else. He's appreciating ever deeper his soulmate, the emotions, Ava, Yira, etc. And the third level is not that. So what's the third level? What did we just say? What's the third level? Can I hear in clear language the difference between the second level and the third level? No, it's just what we talked about this morning. Still in the Chacham, not in Bina yet, I see. Think, no?
The third level is it's just you.
Oh, true. We need more words to understand this. Clear distinction between second and third level. It's not in the words of the Maimon. Try to understand the Maimon. To draw the line in the sand between the second level and the third level is a cardinal difference. The second level is, I have developed a relationship and an appreciation of you, and that's why you are not somebody else. But in that, there's still the possibility, in theory, of somebody else, but no, it's you. The third level, there's no choice anymore. It's unlocking the essential level of oneness, meaning where the two souls were one before they were born even. That's what that third level is. Not you and not somebody else, because I've invested in you and I believe that we're meant to be with all of the cheshbonos. But the stuff of the relationship is this conscious emotional investment in you, that I've invested in you and not in somebody else. And that's why I'm not drawn there anymore, because my heart is here. Stage one, my heart is not there. It's Kabbalah soil. Stage two, my heart. Stage three, it's not just my heart, it's me essentially. Can't be any other way. Can't be any other way. That's complete oneness. Not even connected by love, as it were. The love isn't the glue. It's also something in between. Why you? Because I love you. I don't love her. Still something in between. It's called love. This is beyond the Hoyle Basar Echad. Mamish, this is Kodesh HaKadoshim. This is not being connected by something. This is the essential oneness. Why? Because that's the Metzias. We're two halves of one soul. Translating that's in our relationship with God. So where's the Gewalt there? That's the most natural thing possible. If you want, it's not a Gewalt, the Gezach, that's what it is. The Gewalt is, as we said before, that I'm one with you, bringing everything else into the relationship. All those levels where I could be not with you, and there's Skafi and there's Hapche and this, that's also one with you, Gewalt. Which means that your essential love for me embraces even the imperfections and the possibilities and for elsewhere and failures even. Still love me unconditionally. Even where it's not so perfect, it's not iskafi, not the isapche, entangled in this and fallen. All of us, the story of our lives.
And then is it be'emes only you? If we're coming with everything else, is it be'emes only you?
Because you want it. Because you've invited me in there with all of me, yeah. And plus, all these manifestations of me, they are me, so they're not perfect, but they're still me. So you want me, it's everything, it's part of me. They're tainted and they're imperfect, it's still me. Flawed as it is. This is the knock on the door. And they come in, my child, come in. I know exactly everything that you are. Come in, come in, come in. That's like the bigger gewalt than that. Pnimi is be'etzem, yechidus. It's all the same model. Yechidus, they wish to Eden, husband, wife, going to the oil. But pnimi is, it says about yechidus is yechida talking to yechida. That level, it's one. I'm not saying akoil. That's the essence of it. But it's not just Yechida talking to Yechida. That's the core. I'm coming in with everything, with all of my levels of consciousness and separation and self. It was just my Yechida going in. Not such a good, there's no gewalt there. We're one. That's the ultimate the ultimate eternal truth. All neshamas are one with the Eibush, all neshamas are one with each other. Not a gewalt there. That's the gewalt there is that in that level, in there, everything is coming in. You want that oneness to embrace, and it does all of the levels of self and yeshus and separation and imperfections, and even if they're not imperfect, even if they're successfully skafia and yisapch, it's all done. Still metzius. Still metzius. You want my metzius, you want. So even if it's perfect, still a gewalt. That's what you're interested in. That's what you want. You want me in totality. My iskafia, my isapcha, even if it's perfect, it's still gvulim, limited, and doesn't express, and those worlds don't express the essential union. On the contrary, the fact that you're fighting is saying that you're not feeling it there. So even if it's perfect, and certainly if it's not perfect, is what I'm saying. Okay, let's go further. Let's finish the next paragraph. Where are we? Yeah. No, on page Reish Samaches. In light of the above, what in light of the above? That, and this was all the ha'orah, that at the end of the day, all of the avodas as a bound and nefesh kiss, that is Hashem's desire for a relationship with the neshama in the deepest way, and in such a way that it embraces all of the manifestations of the neshama, all of the levels of the neshama. Avodas habirurim, elevating the nefesh habahamis, that's not the tachlis. It's all in order for the neshama and the Eibusha to have the deepest oneness. All it means for an end. Again, you hear over and again, this is the Rebbe's chiddush, one way or another, constantly and extremely subtle. If we don't get it, no. In every Maimon moral, that's the Nakuda, that the whole Torah mitzvahs and everything, it's not where it's at. It's all part of and all an expression of the essential kavanah, which is the neshama, the yid. So in light of the, we've understood Apizgam, Shalchak Barucham Yadmur, the teaching of the teaching, the word. The Friedrich Rebbe should Pesach Sheini Shaykh and Nefesh HaSheinis. Because you understand the Chiddush, Bechlal, till this moment, really, basically, the holding in of Sfiras HaOmer is the whole focus is the Nefesh HaBahamis. It's all about the Nefesh HaBahamis. That's the whole Avodah, the 49 days. And we're saying, yes, but that's all in order to unlock the deepest connection that the Neshama has, and that should embrace also the Neshama as it deals with the Nefesh HaBahamis. And that's the Vod of the Friedrich Rebbe. The Pesach Sheini is Shaykh Nefesh HaSheinis. The Alter Rebbe calls the Nefesh Halikis Nefesh HaSheinis, which is a whole beer in itself. It's rather strange. The second soul of the second, Yid is not primarily the Neshama. Machlal, what does he discuss in the Neshama second, in Perek Beis? You would think at the time you start first explaining the Nefesh Halikis, the Neshama, and then Nefesh HaBahamis. Okay, it's many biurim, but the fact is it's called Nefesh HaSheinis. So Pesach Sheini is all focus is the Neshama. Kimaylis hadilug the Pesach Sheini al hadilug the Pesach Rishon hu. Because what's the maila of the Gewalt, the spilus of Pesach Sheini over the spilus of Pesach Rishon is shadilug the Pesach Rishon mitzad ha'hel nevet Nefesh HaBahamis. What's the spilus? What's the Gewalt of the first Pesach? Because I'm struggling with the Yetzer Hara and get me out of here, and then every day it's a big struggle in it. Nefesh Rishona. The first Pesach are really dealing with what? The first conscious soul, which is the Nefesh HaBahamis. The Chiddush of Pesach Sheini is Vayda Sheini, Yesoid, Atzilus, Layigur Chora, Asay Toiv. This is pure Neshama. Adilu the Pesach Sheini Ushim is Gala HaBligvul the Nefesh HaSheini Sheichelek Elakam Imal Mamish. The whole avodah of the second month is, which is as a result of engaging Iskafia and then Ishapra, is to reveal the deepest connection of the neshama with the Eibishter. The bligvul, what's the bligvul as we're expressing it? What's the bligvul of the neshama? The bligvul of the neshama is that it embraces even the Nefesh HaBahamis and everything else of me. That's his bligvulness. Shagam biyosim leveshes beguf. Even as in the guf and dealing with the body, Nefesh HaBahamis and Nefesh HaBahamis, he chelek alika mimal mamish. This essential bond is revealed there and embraces all of that. Meloshen mishush, mamish touch, even the part of the neshama that's dealing in a corporeal, physical body. Which in simple terms, Meliubavitch is saying, I want to be part of you as not just the etzem, but as that etzem is truly revealed and embraces every part of your being, even as the neshama is in the guf and even the guf. And that's the gewalt. You want that too. Okay, today's story.